Good morning, everyone. It's Anthony, Wall Street Trader. It's 11:42 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on May 19th, 2021. Okay, lots of stuff going on, but let me get right to it. This isn't financial advice. It's educational only. Trade at your own risk. Do your own due diligence, and do not take anything here as 100% fact. Everything I say and do here could be inaccurate, as well as any of the content you see on the screen. Twitter updates below if you want my entry exit points, as well as intraday market moves, as well as clicking subscribe if you want to see and subscribe to the latest videos. I do one a day, likely going into two a day by the end of the week. We'll see how things pan out here. But I think overall, though, just given the volatility, we will have two of these a day. Anyway, I've executed a couple of my conditions yesterday. I went 10% in at 117, 10% in at 107. They're both higher than what we are doing right now. And honestly, I don't care. Why? Because I'm in this thing for the long term. I don't care about Chinese banks coming out talking about something they've already said in the past. And then, which is that they're not going to be accepting Bitcoin as payments. Who cares? Bitcoin was never meant as a payment mechanism, in my view. Bitcoin is more of a store of value. It's like gold. You see people taking gold bars, sticking it in a bag, and running to the corner car dealership and buying a car. Hell no. Doesn't happen that way. So I'm not worried about that. This morning, JP Morgan also came out, just Monday morning quarterbacking as they usually do. Coming in late to the game again. They were right on the 50% drop. I'll give them kudos on that. But to come in to try to get it to that point, kind of shameless. But anyway, I think there was a point where they said that institutional investors are taking their money out of Bitcoin. This is what J.P. Morgan said, and putting it into gold. Well, look at the price action of gold. Gold has gone nowhere. If you put your money in gold over the last few months, you're not making any money. With the US dollar also taking a dump, you would expect gold to go up, and gold didn't even go up to counterset that. So, how is it that what they're saying is true? How is it that institutional clients are pulling their money out, creating all this downdraft in Bitcoin and putting it in gold when gold's done nothing? I think it's bull. And I'll tell you why. I think JP Morgan, speaking for its own clientele base, they have been downplaying Bitcoin from time immemorial. They've been downplaying it. And what does that mean? Well, that downplaying it means that they probably have hardly any clients that were in Bitcoin to begin with. So they might have had one or two clients. I don't know how many they've had, but I'm just saying it would be a paltry number of clients that are taking money and investing in Bitcoin at JP Morgan. Just my view. You think what you want. I think it was a big manipulation play this morning. But as we can see in the markets, things are starting to pan out. Let's take a look at the markets real quick. So the graph, US dollar, completely just took a nasty spill here. We were down at 50. We were almost down 50% from where we are right now. I mean, it is insane. If you got it there, kudos to you, man. But right now it's sitting at 96.21, making a big comeback. I mean, this thing really just like pretty much doubled if you got it down at 50 something. Anyway, so look, we're definitely, we have violated this channel. We look like we could be in bear territory temporarily until we can cross back into this channel and maybe even above. Not saying that that's going to happen today or tomorrow, but we have to keep our eye on this. Let's take a look at, there's two components that make up the graph US dollar chart that I look to in terms of defining where my entry and exit points are. The first one is the graph BTC. And here we are. So with this particular chart, the graph BTC is GRT BTC, or the graph's relative strength to Bitcoin, right? So overnight action, we clearly went from, like, I think we were up in the 28 range, dropped all the way down to like 1700. This was an ugly event, like really truly an ugly area to be in. It's the real reason why we probably halved on the graph US dollar pair. But we bounced back up above, surprisingly above. 2500 is roughly the support level for this longer term view of the graph relative to Bitcoin. And it's actually back over it. So we're at 2564. I think the scrimmage line for the graph is 2500. 2,500 is the scrimmage line for graph, and we're going to continue to monitor this thing. This is important. This is a key level for me in my mind to stay above before I even think about another entry point. That being said, GRT US dollar, we just talked about, and we're back to 94. Okay, so let's talk about Bitcoin here. Again, this is the other component that drives the graph US dollar chart, right? So if we look here, we kind of zoom in, we can see that last night we went past the JP Morgan line here. Now we're back all the way up. We went to a low of around 29,000 and change, 30,000 call it, and now we're all the way back up to 37. So if you bought in at 30,000, you probably got 20% on this downdraft. Look, it's hard to say where this is ultimately going to go over the next day or two. I personally think we'll be back up here. We might hit our head on the 40,000 and trek back down. I don't know. But we're going to have to keep our eye on this, right? So, a little more charting from my perspective. I'll be doing that today. I did anticipate we were going to hit through this, right? So we actually went through, we did a W, we came back in, and then we broke down. I'm wondering at this point if this is a broadening wedge. Remember, this morning, a lot of people are saying this was more of a liquidation event. There's a lot of open interest on a 40,000 Bitcoin for 40,000. It wouldn't surprise me that this was a result of that open interest and liquidation event that had to happen. It happens. Pullbacks are normal. Everybody needs to understand that. Anyway, this could be a broadening wedge, which would signal a possible reversal. So it wouldn't surprise me if we hit 40,000 before now and the end of the day. But we have to watch this stuff and monitor it. It could do another dash down. I'm not saying it will. I doubt it will, but you never know. You can't ever tell. You can't ever catch a low at the low, because sometimes it's like catching a falling knife. So I wouldn't go chasing anything on emotion. Think about how you want to get into it. Dollar cost average into it. You'll feel a lot better knowing that you have still some money on the sidelines waiting to buy more. And if it goes up and you have some in it already, then great. Let it go up too. You'll be good on the upside. You'll be good on the downside. It'll keep your head sane. And that's pretty much all I've got, folks. I'll give you a shout tomorrow with hopefully I'll have some more entry points on this. Talk soon.